Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut, and hope you like this video. But more importantly, I need you to hit that subscribe button. You want to learn about all these different managers that are going to come in and talk to the Mets, and even every name you can imagine. Hit that subscribe button right now. Trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, and I need your help, and you've been very good. If you're on social media and you're a regular subscriber, put it out. Text it to a friend who's a Met fan. You want to follow this channel. This is a great channel. It's the best. So here we have a new president of baseball operations, the first president of baseball operations for the Mets in their history. We've seen him before, but they've always like the general manager, but a single individual. Now, I would mention this is David Stearns, if you don't know, and he is coming from Milwaukee, and he is going to be running this team moving forward. He will be the boss of Billy Epler and whoever is the manager. And I would mention that the Mets are still looking for a president of business operations, which they've not been able to replace since Sandy Alderson left the Mets and basically retired. But we now have David Stearns coming in. The first thing he did before he even came in, he fired manager Buck Showalter. Really, they asked Buck, how do you want to handle this? And people have been complaining about how the Mets handled it. I didn't, but he said he wanted it handled the way it happened. For him to announce it during the press conference before the game, have a little sort of fans cheer him, and we saw all that. It was fine, in my opinion. But now we have new management, a new front office. The Mets also announced, I guess, or they didn't announce, Mark Shumata. It doesn't matter what you call him. He was a Wilpon guy, and he was in the front office. He is now gone to the Blue Jays. So another Wilpon guy out of here. That has got to be something that has to be done. Get rid of every Wilpon employee in the Met front office. If you're a front office member of the Mets that was hired by Fred and Jeff Wilpon, I'm sorry, but you're part of the problem, and have been a part of the problem for a long time. So who are going to be some of the candidates that are going to replace Buck Showalter? Now, I would mention the Mets have had 4 managers since 2017. That is a major problem in terms of stability here. So the stability of this franchise has to be paramount to any kind of winning going forward. Now, you can be stable and have a bad manager and a bad team, but you need, obviously now with Stearns coming in here, when you bring a guy Stearns, there's a seriousness to winning, there's a seriousness, there's a quality that he brings that they haven't had here. And obviously this is a new job opening, a new job for the Mets here. We're going to have a very different dynamic here. We're going to have a guy above the general manager that is in ownership. So that is a huge thing. They've needed this for a very long time. Now he's coming from Milwaukee. The big name obviously is Craig Counsell. Right now the Brewers are down 1-0 in their wild card series against the Diamondbacks. With one more loss, the Brewers will be done for the season. And Craig Counsell will be done with his contract with the Brewers, making him a free agent. Now, he had the ability to sign with the Brewers during the offseason, during the season actually, and they did not come to an agreement. And now there's going to come a point where he's going to become a free agent at some point. We'll see what happens on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. I think they play each other at 3 o'clock, so that is a thing to keep an eye on. Now, Stearns had mentioned that he's looking to cast a wide net and look at a whole bunch of different guys to come in to manage this team. Now, the biggest thing, and I've said this in this video and other videos, the Mets have to find stability here. You have to bring in a guy that you know is going to be able to handle. And here's the thing about New York: it is a tough place to play. It's a tough place to manage. And as you know, the Mets get no benefit of the doubt ever from the media. They go after the Mets badly. As you know, the Yankees did not go to postseason this year. And the critiques from, in particular, WFAN have been silent. If you go on their YouTube channel, WFAN, they don't even mention the Yankees in any way. I can't remember the last time they posted a video of the Yankees on YouTube. So they know that nobody's really talking about the Yankees. Everybody's talking about the Mets because of the ownership and the situation here. But the Mets always get hammered. Whenever they do something right, they do it wrong. And that the next manager has to understand that. Now, Mets Mirage put out a list of names of people that could be the next manager. Keep in mind, in my view, they need to bring in somebody that's stable and have the ability to handle the pressure here. So here are some names. These are new names to me, and we'll go through them very carefully. The first up is Danny Barnes. Former MLB pitcher Danny Barnes is only 33 years old, but he could be in the mix if the Mets decide to look internally. Barnes served as an assistant coach of the Mets this season and is well regarded for his analytical abilities. I'd stay away from the staff. I think everybody in the Mets staff should be gone. I do know that Jeremy Hefner is the pitching coach here. David Stearns should look very closely at his time here and move on and bring in a new pitching coach. And hopefully the new manager will want somebody new. I'm not a fan of Jeremy Hefner at all. 3 of the 4 years the Mets pitched poorly. I blame that squarely on the pitching coach. That is one position in the coaching staff that truly affects the entire team and affects the specialty that he's been hired to do. Next name up is Carlos Beltran, the once and future king of the Mets. There will certainly be a collection of Mets fans who will be clamoring for him to get another shot as the Mets manager, but it feels unlikely Stearns will go in that direction. Still, Beltran is well liked and respected among players and returned to the organization last season. He did say he went to at one point to Syracuse to watch the Mets up there and watch Ronnie Mauricio. He said that Ronnie Mauricio has a chance to be a star on offense and defense. We'll see on that. Here's another name I've not heard much of. Quentin Berry. I'm not making his name up. That's his name. Quentin Berry is another name with Milwaukee connections that Stearns will have familiarity with. The 38-year-old is the Brewers' first base coach and has coached in the organization since 2018. Reed Briniak, former big leaguer, managed the Binghamton Rumble Ponies to a fantastic season in 2023 where they advanced to the Eastern League Championship Series. He has been in the Mets organization since 2020 and has managed several of the Mets' young players already. He might be a future major league manager. We'll see. He's definitely going to be on staff at some point. I don't know how the Mets look at him, and who knows what's going to happen here. Here's another name, Eric Chavez. Mets hitting coach Eric Chavez has made his desire to manage at some point, and he is obviously familiar with the roster. However, he doesn't have any previous managerial experience, and Stearns may be looking more at external candidates. You know, I know he did a great job last year as hitting coach, but as pitching coach, as a bench coach, not very good. Mark DeRosa, who serves as an analyst for MLB Network, has never managed the majors or minors, but he did lead Team USA in the 2023 WBC, where he worked with players such as Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil and guided the team to the championship game. Now, DeRosa would be considered similar to Aaron Boone, because Aaron Boone was in the booth for a long time. Joe Espada, this is a name that's been out there. This guy's been trying to become manager for 40 years? Espada's name has routinely been in the mix for several MLB openings in recent years, but the Astros bench coach is yet to land his first MLB manager job. He was also a candidate for the Mets Open in 21, and has managed Puerto Rico's World Baseball Classic team. I don't know about him. Ryan Flaherty. He played in the majors from 2012 to 2019. Could get some serious looks from MLB teams this offseason. Looking to hire a young, up-and-coming candidate. The Mets attempted to interview Flaherty in 22 for their open bench coach position, but were denied by the Padres. He was part of a disaster, too. I would stay away from him. Benji Gill is another name that gained managerial experience from the 23 World Baseball Classic, where he helped lead Team Mexico. This MLB season, Gill worked as a coach for the Angels. He also has previously managed in the Mexican League. He'll stay away from the Angels. Here's a crazy name, Gabe Kapler. He checks the boxes of an experienced manager, having previously managed the Phillies and Giants, including leading San Francisco to a 107-win season in 21. However, he has been fired from both of those positions after failing to get teams to the postseason. I mentioned about Kapler. Stay away from him. He did not handle things well in Philadelphia when he was there, and I'm not a big fan of his at all. Don Kelly is another current MLB bench coach working under Derek Shelton with the Pirates. I would stay away from him. Danny Lehman is the current Dodgers bench coach and is a rising star in the coaching ranks at age 38. The former minor league catcher has been with the Dodgers in various capacities since 2015. Who knows? I don't know him. George Lombard. George served as the Tigers bench coach. There you go. Move on. And here are a couple interesting names. Kevin Long. Kevin Long spent 3 seasons as the Mets hitting coach, including the year they won the pennant in 2015. He could be a managerial candidate this offseason after helping lead the Phillies to back-to-back postseason appearances. That name intrigues me because he's a very enthusiastic guy. He's a smart guy. He interests me. I would not take issues. Keep an eye on him. I think he would be a very good candidate. Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball. Didn't we go down this route with a former Yankee great, with Willie Randolph? If the Mets want to hire another veteran manager, they could give Mattingly, who previously managed the Dodgers for 5 seasons, and New Orleans for 7, a serious look. Mattingly won the National League Rookie Manager of the Year in 2020 with Miami. He's now with the Blue Jays. He's the hitting coach for the Blue Jays. He's 61 years old, 62. Donnie is 62 years old. And he is a guy that can handle it here. I don't think, and I would mention that when he managed the Dodgers, he did not hurt them. He was a very good manager there. So they won a lot of games there in Los Angeles. Joe McEwing. Now he's been bounced around. He's the Cardinals bench coach. He played here. I don't know about that. Bob Melvin. Melvin's going to the Giants, I think. He's with the Padres. He's going to leave, and he doesn't get along with the general manager there. Let's go through a couple of names here that I don't know much about. Clayton McCullough. He is with, what the hell is he? He's the Dodgers first base coach. Ryan Montgomery. He's the bench coach for the Angels. Stay away from them. Pat Murphy, 64 years old. Bench coach for the Brewers. Will Venable is another hot young coaching candidate that the Mets could give a look to. Venable, who's currently an associate manager with the Texas Rangers, has been coaching with the Red Sox and Rangers for several seasons. Has a Princeton education on his resume in addition to 9 years of MLB playing experience. And finally on this list, which just doesn't make me feel all that great, that's Walt Weiss. He has previous MLB managerial experience with the Colorado Rockies, which was a disaster, and has also been Brian Snitker's right-hand man with the Braves, serving as the team's bench coach. The Mets could give him a serious look if they are interested in someone with a long coaching resume. I don't know about that. He managed. I don't know. I'd like to stay away from guys that, these Midwest guys, because they can't. I mean, how are they going to handle? How's Walt Weiss, he was with the A's, with the Rockies? How's he going to handle a big-time New York here, and having to handle stupid questions that they get from the media, and little dramas where it seems like the whole world is coming to an end? How's he going to handle that? We know one thing. He would have the respect of Ron Darling because he was Ron Darling's teammate in Oakland. But how would he handle things here? I don't know. And obviously his previous managerial experience was a disaster. So, you let me know what you think about all these different names. Did I miss a name? I would mention again Dusty Baker. He's the oldest of the group. He's got a very impressive resume. He's better than Buck. And he's leading that Houston team to the playoffs again. So, let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.